I became a CPA in 2023, but why did I want to become a CPA? How did I do it? And was it worth it? Those are the questions I'm going to be answering in today's video. Why did I want to become an accountant? My decision was mostly due to indecision because I was 17 years old, trying to pick a major and really didn't know what to do. I was thinking business or history. I didn't really have a great idea. My dad, he told me, history is awesome, but maybe it's more of a hobby. And, looking back, I'm like, yeah, it's probably good advice. And he said business is also great, but it's not as good as accounting. And to be honest, my dad is probably a little biased because he is a CPA. So he pushed me a little bit more towards accounting for a number of reasons. The main one being that it was just a bit more specialized than business. I think business is a bit of a general major, to be honest. And accounting, it's more of developing a skill set rather than a mindset, if that makes sense. At the age of 17, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. So, the versatility that an accounting degree offered in the future is something that definitely appealed to me. And, that's kind of why I went with it. And after I decided to go down the accounting route, I kind of just assumed that once you do that, you become a CPA. I never really questioned it. It kind of just seemed like the thing to do. If you want to be an accountant, you got to become a CPA. So that's kind of why I did it. I just never really thought about it, to be honest. But do I regret this decision? That's something that we're going to talk about later in the video. But how did I actually get my license? To be honest, it was all down to good old-fashioned hard work. I started studying during COVID, so I had plenty of time to dedicate to the exam, so I just studied a lot. And, I was able to manage it because I wasn't working a full-time job and it was COVID, so there was nothing really going on. But I eventually got a part-time job, so studying and balancing that was a bit more of a challenge, but definitely still manageable. So I passed my first 3 exams either not working at all or working part-time. But then once I got to my 4th exam, I had started as a full-time audit associate. So I had to balance full-time work and studying, which definitely was not fun. I would recommend to anyone, if you're thinking about taking the exams, try to get them done before you start working full-time. It was just so much easier. Obviously still doable. I got the 4th one done. So many people get it done while working full-time. But if you have the option, definitely do it beforehand. But yeah, how I did it when I was working full-time was basically maybe a few hours before work if I was working from home. And then if I ever had downtime during the day, I would just whip out my textbook, log on to Becker, and just start hitting some multiple choice or doing some lectures or whatever it was. And then obviously after work, I would also study for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes less, sometimes more, it just depends. But that's my main piece of advice, is to try to use your downtime during work, because as an associate, you will have downtime. So take advantage of it. You don't want to push off the exams any longer than you have to. Just get them done, trust me. But after 18 months, I had passed all exams, and all that was left was to fulfill my work experience requirements, and then I would become a fully licensed CPA. Obviously, I went on to fulfill the work experience requirements and become a fully licensed CPA. But the real question is, do I regret it? Do I regret all the time and all the money I spent getting this license? Was it worth it? My answer is that I absolutely do not regret getting my license. I know a lot of people talk about the accounting field dying or AI taking over and things like that, but I'm still fully confident in my future in this field. I think being a CPA just instantly makes you so much more qualified than so many other professionals out there. More qualified than, accountants who don't have their CPA license, or business majors who just aren't as specialized as you. Especially considering the fact that so many people say accounting is a dying field and there's less and less people going into it, things like that. That's kind of great news for the young CPAs out there, because there's going to be less competition in the future with other CPAs, which means more open positions and more room for growth. So honestly, I really have no regrets about it, and I have full confidence in my future in this field. I think with my CPA qualification, I'll be able to grow and reach positions that I wouldn't be able to without it. Because I work in audit right now, and all my clients, literally all of them, the executives and the people high up in the company, they're almost all CPAs. So if you're interested in, someday becoming part of the C-suite, an executive high up in a business, chances are you need your CPA. Not a lot of people get there without it. I've just noticed that so many of the most successful people in businesses have their CPA license, so I think not having mine would significantly reduce my chances of ever being as successful as them. So based on my situation, yes, the CPA exam, getting it done was 100% worth it. And so many people ask me oh, is it worth it? Should I do it? And unfortunately, I can't really answer that question, because is it worth it really depends on so many other things in your life. So I can't give an answer to every individual person unless I know your situation. But in general, I think it's a great thing to have on your resume. I have no regrets about my decision, but at the end of the day, it's something that you have to decide for yourself. But if you agree with me and think becoming a CPA is a good thing for your career and something you're interested in doing, check the link down below because I'm leaving a link for 100 free CPA exam multiple choice questions. It's honestly a great place to start studying if you're interested in getting into the CPA exam, so check that out. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.